Welcome back to the Ride Boundless podcast with me, Robert Valderrama. On this episode, we speak to Chris McIntyre, founder of Eagle Riders, pioneer of the motorcycle rental companies. We speak about their journey of how they got started and where they're at now. Here we go. Chris, what's going on? What do you think about this whole coronavirus?
Brother, first of all, thanks for having me.
Of course.
So,
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do I think about McIntyre, Eagle Rider, and the coronavirus? I think that, well, number one, I could never be in house arrest. Number two, if I went to jail, I would die. So, what I do is I try and be a good citizen, and there's no better way than being a motorcyclist. Jump on your bike with a couple friends, escape, live the American dream, smell the sage, the pinyon, the ocean breeze. Go escape, grab my daughter and go, come on, honey, you're stuck. You had to leave University of Colorado Boulder. It's cramping your style. Let's go for a ride down Pacific Beach, PCH, and go to the Shake Shack. So I've honestly been using my motorcycle to escape, to clear my head and become free.
And practicing social distancing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how using a motorcycle, you have your gloves, you have your helmet, you got your personal space, nobody's 6 feet next to you, how easy it is to adapt into this current situation.
Yeah, and honestly, it's after, how long have we even been in this?
I think
since March 10 or something like that. It's been like a couple of months now.
Yeah, I got back. I was doing international travels. I was in Abu Dhabi, and right when I got back, that's when the LA airport started getting complicated. So that was March 9th.
So you can imagine in one sense, I'm worried about Eagle Rider employees. I love the reason we started the company, built by riders for riders. What do I love to see? People smile, go on a journey, go on an experience. So in one sense, we're like, okay, let's survive this, batten down the hatches, make sure Eagle Rider's safe, do what we need to do. But on the other sense, being at home and you can only have so many Zoom meetings. I've been riding, man. Like last week, Thursday, I looked at my wife. I said, what do you want to do? We're jumping on the Road Glide. We went to, Pioneer Town. Called a friend of mine that owns a hotel and said, hey, you're at 29 Palms and Joshua Tree.
Probably empty.
This is the seal, right?
No. This is. I go, I'm essential, man. He goes, Chris, you've seen so many motorcyclists here. And Rakesh is his name. It's a Best Western. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Get a room there. Clean, of course. Go on our journey through Mojave, Joshua Tree, Vegas. Go high, when I say high five, air high five, Team Eagle Rider in Vegas. Seriously, that's what we did. We turned in our Road Glide, got our Ford Raptor, went on a cruise out in the mountain in the BLM land, went to Death Valley, stayed at the Panamint Resort. Guy owns that, huge motorcyclist, off-road fanatic Ben. His story is awesome, how he bought that place. But the bottom line is, get out, ride, live the American dream. Our backyard is filled with opportunities to explore and social distance and do it. So next week, it's funny you brought up the Navy SEAL, the Desert Ironwood. I was supposed to go dirt bike riding this weekend with my family, but I forgot it's Mother's Day.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers for this month. That's exciting. Any big plans?
Actually, it's funny because right before we jumped in here, I called the Desert Ironwood. I'm like, hey, Pam, I got to switch my reservation. Not this Friday and Saturday, but the next one. But yeah, this week is grab the family. We're going to go on the boat in Newport and just unwind.
Nice.
Eat cheese and crackers, probably drink wine.
Absolutely.
Robert, have you been drinking too much when you're sticking at home?
No. I've actually cut back. Like I haven't been drinking. I never liked to drink at home. But I have been
just socially drinking, right? When
yeah,
we
socially.
come over or
But I've been doing barbecues. I've been inviting people over. I just had 8 people 2 days ago, and did barbecue and
So
margaritas.
unsafe.
Well, we had alcohol to keep the distance and kill all the germs. But why? Has that been?
I swear to God, at our house, we're like, oh, let's just open another bottle of wine. Let's do. I mean, I'm like, what am I? Because you got to get out and exercise. You have to keep your mind clear. And I'm like, man, this is bizarre.
And it's so hard because they're closing all the hiking places. They were closing the beaches, which I don't even know where we stand now. I mean, Griffith Park was closed up. We're being limited. We're being super controlled.
That's why you jump on your bike and fly. Baby.
That's right.
Fly like an eagle.
That's right. What's going on with Eagle Riders? Are all the locations? And before we get into who you are and what Eagle Riders is, briefly, are all the locations open or in fully staffed, or did you guys cut back 50%? Or
No.
what's going on? How is the coronavirus affecting Eagle Riders?
So really quickly, anyone who doesn't know what Eagle Rider is, literally, I was working a stiff suit job. I actually even know what a Hickey Freeman suit is and Allen Edmond shoes. They're like banker shoes.
Right.
I was working at this company called NCR, and it was awesome. But me and a couple guys, Jeff Brown, Peter Wormer, Bob Pitts, just got together and said, man, our passion is to ride. Let's start a company and create a company for riders, by riders. And we started out truly as a rental company. And we very quickly, and I'll tell you that story later, found out that it's all about the experience. Why we ride? Sometimes not even the bike. Sometimes it's the destination. Sometimes it's the smells. Sometimes it's the social experience. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, as you guys know. But to answer your question, so Eagle Rider started literally in 1992 with a dream and our beer money and hard work and passion, and the pixie dust of finding other riders is the magic, actually, that have a similar passion. So, and it's growing, and it's hundreds of locations. And so when the coronavirus hit, 50% of our business is international. So just like us three.
50%? I would have guessed more, but 50%. Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually in the last 3 to 4 years with Club Eagle Rider, the membership program, U.S. participation has been huge.
Yeah.
We're both part of it. We did because
everybody we know, we have them hooked. Yeah, I've had mine as soon as you guys launched it. I was one of the first people on the membership, and I have 35 credits now, which I have minus the ones that I've used. So from day one, I've been part of that.
So brother, this is the perfect time to escape.
We have perfect time.
We have people showing up. Literally today, there'll be someone showing up going, "I got 14 rental credits. Okay, I'm taking that GS 1200 and I'm going to disappear for 8 days." It's beautiful. But anyhow, to answer your question, for me, it was bizarre because imagine when Trump or the administration said no more international inbound flights, whenever that was, sometime in March, immediately 50% of our business went from millions of dollars in bookings to zero. Because if you can't come here, you can't ride.
Right.
Just like us three, throw a dart in the map anywhere in the U.S. If you're European, that's a dream for a motorcyclist. For us, anywhere in Europe or pick it could be Mongolian. Us three, we'd love to jump on enduros and travel and stay in yurts. And that's what, motorcycling is, exploring on two wheels. So that was a huge impact. What was interesting, the domestic customer. So we closed and stay-at-home orders. We closed all our stores. But then quickly we started to find out, guys, that number one, we're essential. Isn't that cool? Just like car rental companies. Because we're considered essential for rental. So we opened up the major hubs. So from hundreds, well over 200 to we're probably 15 locations right now. LA, San Francisco, Vegas.
All the headquarter ones.
Yeah, there's some dealers where we have a lot of locations within dealers. But there's a lot of dealers still closed. That's just what it is. So
right now, how many corporate stores versus franchise stores are there?
Corporate stores. See, we have 150 plus corporate stores. So we have standalone stores. We have stores in resorts. We have stores within dealers. And then maybe you call it licensed stores. We have some
authorized, licensed.
But there's a lot.
Yeah.
But
and a lot of them are closed.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them, but that's usually because the business they're working through is closed as well, right? Or their state might be stricter.
Yeah, I mean, Bubba Boswell, by the way, best place to buy a Harley, and he's a classic, beautiful white beard, and he's a super cool dude in Tennessee, Nashville. And Boswell's Harley Davidson. If he closes his store, even though we're in there, we got to close too.
Right.
So, but everyone's opening up, and he didn't close. He's just like us. They're starting to open up everywhere.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I did have a question because you mentioned that you started in 1992, right? And I heard in one of your in the LA Times, I think, article that when you guys started there was problems to find funding from banks and loans and stuff like that, and I found really interesting that it seems like financial entities don't want people to get motorcycles, because even personal loans, they give you one for a car but not for a motorcycle. It seems really weird, and I'm sure you guys went through crazy times to find, I think until a third partner or somebody joined, and that's how you guys got funding. There was hard times to find it,
brother. The way we got funding is like you. So that's hilarious. I love that you read that old. I mean, there's so many old stories, but when we started it, we thought, yeah, we're going to create like the enterprise, a Hertz rent-a-car, except motorcycling. Well, that's be easy. We'll be able to go to banks. My old contacts were NCRs in their financial division. Oh, I'll go to some of the banks that I know, and the presidents of VPs. They'll give us an asset loan. If I told you how many times, how many meetings in 92, 93 that we would walk in, give our presentation. Yeah, think of Hertz rent-a-car, but for motorcycles.
The word motorcycle just cancels everything.
Yeah, they're like, "You what?" Number one, they're worried about liability. They tip over, they crash. Nobody's going to do that. And so we got shot down. You talk about doing something that you love. If you love something, you will be successful, because that passion is rocket fuel. It's a pixie dust that's magic that moves you forward, that you never quit. So we literally probably got turned down 20, 30 banks. Nobody. So we financed, number one, our first 4 bikes we bought. The next 20 bikes, we went to dealers. This was the days when Harleys were, just hot as pancakes. I mean, you had to order them. It was a 6-month, 8-month waiting list.
Whatever came in was in. Whatever color was there. You couldn't even choose.
Do you remember that? It was bizarre.
It was difficult.
You'd go to Laidlaw Harley Davidson and go, put down $1,000 and your heritage will be here, and we're not even sure the color in 8 months.
All right.
So
I didn't even think about that. It was complicated.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So what we did, we thought, you know what? This is awesome. The demand's Harley. So we went to dealers, and actually, I love it. Bartell's Harley Davidson, Bill Bartell, who's a legend. His family's a legend.
Super legend.
Bill, Ron, Glenn. We went there, and I go, Bill, me, my girlfriend, Jeff and his girlfriend, all of us, we started with 4 guys, went to Bartell's and went to different dealers and ordered 2 bikes. Because remember, you could only order 1.
All right.
But we ordered 2, one for me and my girlfriend. And we got financing and picked up 20 bikes in the same weekend. So HD, Credit at the time, Eagle Mark, Green Tree Finance. In one weekend, we scheduled all the bikes to come. So the bikes that were literally 2 bikes in the dealers. Yeah, so we just were creative entrepreneurs. Then we went to fellow motorcyclists. We go, okay, to grow from 20 to 100, how are we going to do this? We created something called management agreements, where, you know what? You buy the bike, you own it, use your credit, you can use it whenever it's not rented. You just have to, and when it is rented, we're going to give you 30%. We're going to insure it, maintain it, take care of it, make it look beautiful. You're going to get 30%. And at the end of mileage or 2 years, you get the bike. Yeah. And that's literally how we started our business. And we, under management contract, I think we had like 150 bikes at one time. And then years later, banks looked and said, shit, fuck, we should have been lending on this. And that's how it started. I mean, isn't that interesting?
It's super
Super
interesting how you guys took off in that way.
Yeah, so motorcyclists, it was awesome. So almost like our original membership program of Club Eagle Rider started with the membership program where people, we literally had a relationship where, like you said, we tell all our friends about Club Eagle Rider. At the very beginning, we had all the original investors that bought bikes and gave them to us to rent and gave rev share and could get the bike after, I think it was 2 years. They told all their friends. We literally had 50 people wanted to do that for us. We said, whoa, we're going to.
Yeah.
So you basically now the companies that are doing, for example, like Twister Road and all these people that are renting their own bikes. I mean, personally, people are renting their bikes through this platform. That's how you guys started, but basically with other people, and you guys had the management of those properties, basically.
The biggest difference between us and peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
It's, by the way, Airbnb, all that stuff. The biggest difference on motorcycling is safety
and liability.
Yeah. So for us, not really, because when we took those bikes, we own them, we store them, we have expert mechanics, some in dealers, some that are self-trained.
Of course.
And honestly, I'm one of those motorcyclists, and I'm not proud to say it. If I didn't have a great mechanic look at my bike, I'd ride unsafe.
Right.
So that's what we do, and that's the difference. I mean, many people, we all know it.
Well, you guys inspect the motorcycles every time when they come in, right before they go out. What is the routine of a motorcycle from the purchase to when it gets rented to returned?
There are safety checks before it goes out, when it comes back.
It's like a 15-point or 20-point safety inspection, or 100
and something. It's crazy. You're talking an area that's even not my gift, but the one thing we know, motorcyclists, if you have a social, liberating, authentic experience, it has to be. If you look at our pillars, that's what authentic has to be. Authentic, liberating, the bucket list, social with friends, but reassuring and safe. Yeah. That's why it's one of our pillars in our business model, because when that bike goes out, number one, if I go to Denver to pick up a bike to go to Sturgis for the 80th anniversary this year in August, you're going, let's say you're going with your wife. You don't want to break down. You don't want to get a flat tire. So everything has to be perfect. And it is.
Yeah, even the most superficial, maintenance thing, which is checking on the tire pressure on your tires. Obviously, you guys do it every single time. But in our personal bikes, I do it once every 3 months, if so. Yeah. So I can imagine me renting my bike and checking the pressure every single time, plus every single.
And that's what happens. These other companies that are out there, they encourage people to rent their bikes out, but the inspections and the safeties are not there. Another thing, when you guys started, like let's talk about the first rental, and this is kind of what I remember, or what I heard was it's Jeff and you guys are rolled up to a bar or restaurant with your bikes, and there was these foreigners there, and they were liking or appreciating your bike. And what stuck out from that story, I don't remember all the details, but what stuck out from that story was you guys were scared to rent out the bikes, but you didn't. And when you got the bikes back, you were worried they were going to be scratched, dirty, this, that, or the other. But instead, when you got it back, they were actually cleaner and even almost in better.
Robert, I love you. You actually incorporated 2 stories of our founding. So I wasn't even going to think about that. So that story. So when Jeff and I, we bought, we call it Eagle 1, we battle. No, that's Eagle 2. My bike's Eagle 1. So
that's funny.
Which my bike's Eagle
Silly.
1.
Yeah, of course.
NFL
Jeff's not here, so absolutely. You won. Sorry, Jeff.
No, but he had a badass lowrider FXR.
Yours was a Heritage Classic, right?
Yeah, Heritage Softail Classic. Nostalgia, the old Moo Glide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we literally, when we started, we're like, okay, we get these bikes. That's the first step. Buy 2 bikes. So Jeff and I ordered bikes, and let's go up the coast. And our first little journey, this is like 1991. We're still working somewhere.
Big Sur?
Yeah. Dude, you're good. Of course, you got to go to San Francisco, Big Sur. We're at the Fernwood Motel, which is just south of Big Sur or just north of Big Sur, one of the two. It's a cool, badass place. There's a bar in the center. behind the Fernwood is the only albino sequoias in the world.
Did
probably
not
didn't
know
know
that.
No, that's crazy.
There's an entire albino, I'm segueing here, but an entire albino grove where it was cut down because they saw the white and they thought it was dead sequoia trees, but they're not. So anyhow,
That's amazing.
Jeff and I are cruising up there and just on our personal journey, like we've all done 100 times on bikes. And are people going to rent? We're dreaming. We're putting the business plan together. We're talking about it has to be global because Americans want to go overseas and overseas people want to come see the American dream. On road, off road, start street, start with Harley because a Harley craze is hard. So we're literally outside at the Fernwood. They have a little gas pump down the way, and we're filling our bikes up. And 4 Germans or a couple Germans in a Mustang convertible pull up. And that's why I always say like Hertz rent a car,
Right.
but for motorcycles, they pull up and they go, "Oh man, that's just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator. That is so fucking cool, man. Is that a head and soft tail? No, it's a Moog Glide. It's a Moog Glide. You can, oh my God."
Losing their mind.
You remember that craze of when motorcycling, those models, oh man, lowrider's so much cooler.
And you guys were already working on a business plan during this time.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was called Easy Rider.
Right.
Not even Eagle Rider. That's a whole nother story. But the bottom line is we're filling up our gas tanks and, you know, I'm like 25. I'm like, oh man, this is so cool. And they looked at each other. Somehow it happened. They looked at each other in the car and they said, only if Hertz would rent
A motorcycle.
Wouldn't that have been great? And we're thinking of this. And we're like, is this a coincidence? Is this an angel? Is it from God? And so we're just like inspired going.
It was the white sequoia.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? No, but I mean, I think, by the way, I am a guy that believes in destiny.
Yeah.
And I believe there's whispers that happen in life. And it's
Absolutely.
up to us to choose if we want to go down that path.
If we want to listen.
So we put this business plan together. We're inspired by that moment, that first little journey of clear your mind. We come back. We find Peter Wormer because we're not operators. Jeff and I, we're dreamers. We're entrepreneurs. Jeff's more financial. I'm more a visionary on strategy and a marketing. And so we're like, who's going to go ahead and do the pickup and drop offs and the safety point checks and service and tech? So we found this guy named Peter Wormer who did it they were bigger than Cruise America. It was called Go Vacations, the largest RV rental company. And we met him, and lo and behold, he loves bikes and fellow motorcycle enthusiasts said, I'm out of here. I'm the VP of Go Vacations. I'm now your partner, and put some money in. And that's literally, so the first 4 bikes in the garage was in Peter Wormer's garage. We decided we have to. It's a global business. We worked with Lufthansa travel agency, marketed, come to America and live the American dream. And our first 4 guys who came were from Vienna, Austria. And they showed up.
That's right, Austria.
Yeah. They showed up in San Pedro, a classic American. I mean, all good things start in a garage, right? So I believe
if you don't have a garage, get a garage because all great things come out of a garage.
And Peter, let me give you a little background of Peter. He's an engineer, German. Actually, he would say he's Bavarian. So when his garage opens, it's a classic California garage. It, rolls up a giant slab and shaking. It's kind of warped.
Yeah.
That opens up as these 4 Austrians pull up in a taxi and they're like, what the hell did we just get into? And the garage opens up. There's a broken down jet ski. Peter has a lathe, a drill press, like a good American German garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's 4 brand new Harley Davidson sitting there. And these guys, huge, strong, stoic Austrians come walking up. And they look at each other. Was ist das? Like, what the hell did we just get into? We're paying $120 a day. It's October. We're going to go live the American dream. It's 1993. One of them I'll never forget came walking up. And these are brand new bikes, like 500, 1,000 miles on. Pulls out a tread depth to check the tread on a brand new bike. I was like, oh man, these guys are a trip. They go on a journey. They're gone for 13 days. This is before really cell phones. Think of that. It's pretty trippy.
Definitely before cell phones.
So-
I think 97, 98, they started picking up, but go ahead.
They go on this journey and we're like, man, are they going to crash? Are they going to steal these bikes? This is it. This is our first test. It has to be international. They don't speak very good English, but pretty good. They go on this journey. They're gone 13, 14 days. They come back. We're waiting all day long and they roll up. And to your point, Robert, they rolled up and the bikes were cleaner. I mean, how do you get cleaner than a brand new bike? They did. They literally polished every piece. It didn't even look like it went on the road with 2,500 miles. Part of the journey was taking care of their baby.
I would love to hear their side of the story. They
know.
probably went off-road, destroyed the bike, and then they had to have everything replaced. Imagine.
So that's hilarious. Actually, I thought, and they
Suspiciously.
I was like, what the?
Why is it cleaner?
Check the VIN number.
They pull out of the saddlebags and go, McIntyre. Come, these stoic, big Austrian dudes come up, hug us, give us bottles of Jack Daniels, say, we're taking you to dinner. We want to tell you the story of our American dream. And we're just like, this is unbelievable. Not only are they willing to pay for these bikes $120 a day, they want to buy us dinner. And at dinner, Santa Monica Fish Company, great place. We're sitting back and there's two brothers and two of their friends. Jorg looks at us and starts telling a story about him and his brother. They grew up in Vienna, Austria. They had two posters on the wall. One of their Olympic hero, Franz Klammer, gold medalist, downhill, and one of Elvis sitting on a Harley Davidson. And he started talking about someday, when they're little kids before they go to bed, William, go to bed. They would talk about coming to America and living the American dream on a Harley. And as they're telling the story, he started to weep and cry. And Jeff and I, we thought we were creating a rental business. And
Much more.
yeah, we looked there and we said, this isn't about rentals. It's about dreams. It's about dreams coming true on two wheels. And that was the beginning of, literally, we rent dreams is one of our trademark slogans. That happened. We're not a rental company. We're not a tour company. We're not a subscription company. We're a motorcycle experience company that puts smiles on your face.
That's right.
And
gets us to try bikes that we were not used to and then end up buying it.
Is that what you did?
Which is another one of the points I was going to bring up, because I saw another interview of you on in one of your booths in Vegas in one of the trade shows, and you mentioned that it's great that the club membership is great for a new rider who rents bikes until he figures out which bike does he want to buy.
What he should get, what he should purchase.
But I don't think it's just that, because we've been riding for, at least I've been riding for 20 years almost. And you probably longer, because he must be like 54 or 55 right now.
Thank you.
And we did exactly the same thing about 3 months ago.
Well, back in December, we did the exact same thing. I come from a long line of Harleys, Street Glides, Road Glides, Dynas, FX DXTs, etc. Well, in December, we came to Eagle Rider. We used their membership. We got the GS 12, GS or GSA?
It was a GS 1200.
Yeah, a GS 1200, and we took it to Joshua Tree, and we planned the whole trip and stayed out there and met the family and barbecued, and we had a great time. Came back, and I had an appointment to trade in my Dyna, and I traded my Dyna in about a 2020 Street Line. But because of this trip, I was like, I need a GSA.
No, you don't. You just need
well,
you just join club.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't.
Did,
but we ended up. But I had it to powder coat, and I had to put custom windshields. But you're right. You don't. Now I have two bikes that I'm like, I could have just got these at Eagle Rider for $30, and now you guys added more memberships, which we'll discuss soon. But you're right with the membership or with your guys' system, you can go to any of almost 200 locations and pick up a bike. And to add to your point as well, what makes you different from, private rentals or renting from a Harley shop is that you can rent from LA and drop off in Florida. You can rent from Chicago and drop off in LA. And I don't think anybody does that.
Tell the owner of a local bike, that you're going to drop it off 3,000 miles away from their house.
You guys are like our marketing team. No, but
it's
seriously,
not that.
it's a
And-
truth.
And last thing, since we've launched this podcast, there's been so many experience stories of joy and happiness, of people bringing Eagle Riders up, and that's why we're here, and we're honored. We want to know what are the secrets, and we want to know more. But how did you guys start that? When did you get to that point?
So it's interesting that you brought up membership. Honestly, we always thought, wouldn't it be great? Number one, motorcycles are expensive. It's expensive. It's awesome to buy a new one. I mean, whether you bought that GS or Street Glide, pick it.
It's over $60,000 in motorcycle that I have in my garage. That's crazy.
It's beautiful.
I mean, the only reason I was able to get away with it is because they gave me, my dyno was paid off, and they almost gave me, over 15 plus, I got a discount. So whatever, I'm financing 17, and then the BMW, same thing, big down payment. But for anybody else, it's $60,000 in motorcycles.
So when we started, this business, it was primarily Harley. Is probably almost exclusively Harley. We had other bikes, but some Gold Wings and this and that. But I will tell you, people would early on say, "So McIntyre, what is your favorite bike? What Harley?" And I'm like, first of all, I'm not even sure it's a Harley, even though I'm a Madison, Wisconsin guy. I love Harley Davidson, the brand, what it represents. I love their bikes. I love them even more now. They're engineered. They're awesome. It's a great story. But when you talked about like the GS, man, once you start going off-road, the venture touring, I mean, do I love a Super Tenere from Yamaha? Do I love the Honda African Twin? I love both those bikes. Do I love the new KTM? Man, the new KTM 1200.
Even the 790s.
Yeah, the 790. By the way, the 790 for my size, my feel, I like small. Like I actually almost prefer a 250 dirt bike over my 450 KTM. Why? It's just more nimble. But I'm telling you, it just depends. It honestly depends what day, what I'm doing. I love all bikes.
All bikes.
I mean, the new Royal Enfields. I mean, of course, they're shaking down. They're not made for the freeway, but they're cool.
Yeah.
The Himalayan. I mean, there's some cool ass bikes.
Yeah.
So when we started that, I was like, man, today I'm going to take this. We always thought membership. Jeff used to, by the way, I was at NCR. Jeff, when we started, he was at Life Fitness. So we always looked at memberships. It was a growth of the membership, health and fitness. I always thought, man, wouldn't it be great if you could pay a reasonable price for a membership? And as we open up dots on the map, you can pick and choose and pick up where you want. Because truly, we all have limited time, but we all love to ride two wheels, whether it's on-road, off-road, in different destinations. So that was really the genesis. It's a motorcycle in your suitcase.
Yeah.
And 70% of our members, interesting enough, own motorcycles in their garage. So they're exactly you.
In my case, I use it that way. When I travel somewhere else, I refuse to rent a car. I rent a motorcycle wherever I go. I go to New York and we went there for 4 or 5 days. We rented we went to Eagle Rider right in Long Island
Yeah, it's Long Island probably.
Yeah, we rented some road glides and we were riding in New York instead of like being trapped in traffic.
You met Frederic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What I like about the membership program is in 2015 when I found out about you guys, I noticed that your business, my guess, this was my estimate, and please correct me, but I at that point I would have assumed 90% of your business was overseas was the tourist business, the tourist industry. Because locally, a lot of people didn't know who Eagle Riders was, or the people that I knew weren't familiar with who Eagle Riders was. If anybody wanted to rent a bike, it would have been done through Harley. And then the membership program, what it allowed is it kind of opened up a window of opportunity to tell people.
Absolutely.
I think the stats back then were each bike gets rented out roughly 97, 98 days a year. So the rest of the time they're kind of sitting. By creating a membership program, obviously at that moment, nobody's going to pay $120 or $140 or whatever the price is, depending on the bike, to rent locally. But by starting that membership, now you're inviting people to say, hey, we have all these bikes, which in just LA is thousands of bikes. For this small fee and this monthly membership, you can ride any of them. and you can also accumulate your
Credits.
your credits.
Yeah, and it is you guys. You're picking up a bike. It's perfectly maintained. You can pick up an X, drop off an Y. It's a motorcycle in your suitcase. And when we did this, we thought $29 a month, you're in a credit. And you can choose one credit, ride 1, ride 2, ride 10. I mean, pick your passion, right?
Right.
What's interesting is we had like internal bets. Oh yeah, we're going to cannibalize our rental business. Everybody from just use whatever San Francisco when they're picking up, they're all going to join membership. The truth is, the market in LA or San Francisco, 60 to 70% of the actual usage of it is outside their zip code. They're exactly using it like you guys are, a motorcycle in your suitcase. And the truth is, if you have that awesome Street Glide in your garage and a BMW GS, you have kids. Well, come and pick up a 125, a 250, and go dirt bike riding and go experience. I mean, you can do side by sides in Utah. It's
Robert did something really funny there. That he brought his bike to service right here in Bartels, and he picked up a motorcycle here to not take an Uber home.
Yeah, I didn't want to take an Uber. I have credits, so I dropped off. I was getting my service, and I was getting bars installed, and I didn't want to take Uber. I didn't want to get in a car. I didn't want a stranger to drive me, so I came here and rented the BMW R90. Yeah,
that thing's a badass.
That thing's super badass. Yeah, I took it all through the coast, PCA. I took the long way home.
There's a Spanish guy that is doing something like what Ewan McGregor did in an R90. I was like, that must be uncomfortable. But then I've seen him with the off-road tires and filled up with saddlebags and stuff.
I probably would have added like a fairing or some kind of windshield. Other than that, yeah, thing handles amazing.
Unless you're not in a hurry.
But what's yeah, exactly. But what was funny is coming home and my wife seeing me come on another bike. She's like, "Did you buy another bike?" And I go, "No, I rented it." And she's like, "Why would you rent a bike? You bought 2 brand new 2020s." And I'm like,
"Cause baby."
Yeah, because
it's who I am.
It's cold out because baby's cold outside.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though? Like when you first get riding, man, I'm not putting a windshield on my bike. You want the wind; it looks cool.
Yeah.
But man, once you get in the open road, you're like, it is awesome to have a fairing,
a windshield, a full face helmet. Yeah, I remember when I started riding, full face helmets were for dorks or nerds. It wasn't cool on the Harleys. Now I won't ride a bike without a full face helmet.
Yeah, it feels weird. Yeah. All the wind in your face.
All the wind in your face. I mean, it's just it's difficult. Even when I travel to other countries that you don't have to wear your seatbelt, I still wear my seatbelt. I'm so used to that, and especially when I'm riding a motorcycle in a different country, I'm wearing a full face helmet. There's no question about it.
So you're gonna laugh. So where did you learn to ride, or where did you first start riding?
Well, I'm from Spain, so I learned in Spain.
Did you have to wear a helmet?
Of course, yeah.
Say California? No.
California. So
I'm a Wisconsin guy. I grew up no helmets.
Yeah.
And it was, and I'm, by the way, I should wear a helmet.
Right. Well, you should do whatever your state.
Other times too.
Man, well, you should do what your state recommends.
Is there something magical about riding a motorcycle with no helmet?
I haven't done it.
I've done it.
It's quieter. It's bizarre, isn't it? It's a weird. I mean.
It was really weird. I only took I was living in New York and I took my motorcycle to do the pipes in Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, you don't have to wear a helmet. So obviously my wife was terrified of the experience, but I was like, I have to do it once at least to see how it feels. And I rode my Softail Heritage Classic about 90 miles an hour, no helmet. It's weird. It feels really weird. First of all, the noise, you get some time to get used to it, but once you get used to it, you're saying, it seems like quiet, and you're like having all the noise in the world.
It is. It's a weird experience. So that's how I grew up. So at first I was like, oh my God, but we'd always wear helmets for off-road, dirt bikes. And so, yeah.
No, that's interesting. I mean, I've owned so many bikes. I've been riding since, 15, 16 years old, used to go to Mojave Desert, and till this day, I've never ridden a bike without a helmet. It's interesting.
So the best full face guys, and it doesn't have to be Roland Sands, but Roland goes, try this helmet on. and it's this carbon. It's super cool.
The bell?
The bell. Is that badass?
The bullet?
No, he designs the one that the one that Marco has. There's a version that Rolandson's designed for them.
It's so open, like the space that you look through. It's almost like not wearing a
Oh,
helmet.
then it's the bullet. Yeah,
Then,
the bell bullet. Yeah,
It sounds like
I
it's
have one at
disgusting.
home.
Yeah, but I heard that one was a little noisy. I haven't tried it, but I heard that one was a little. Who cares? I get it.
I like Vision, man.
Yeah, no, vision is obviously more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Shoei Hornet?
No.
Because it's like a combination of like the RF 1200, which is their street helmet, and a dirt bike one. So the opening is huge. So you could fit goggles on it,
Full on goggles, like adventure.
and
style.
it's like a super wide vision radius.
Chris, back to getting back to Eagle Riders. When did you guys? Let's talk about the tours, because a lot of people now know Eagle Riders that okay, you can rent the bike and you can drop it off wherever you want. But you guys have guided tours, like one's from Chicago, and it goes all the way to LA through Route 66. It's a 14-day run. I mean, how are those? You guys also do Baja. Let's talk about when you guys got into tours and the success of the touring business.
Yeah, our first when you think about it, even if you're riding a bike by yourself, the best adventures is over one night anywhere. Extends your vision, extends your destination. Just when you go 2 nights overnight stays, it's like a magical journey. We all do that, right?
Right.
So when we started the business in 1995, we said, okay, we got to have a tour business. But I'm telling you, a tour business lives and dies on the guides. And I will be 1,000% honest. I suck as a guide. If you can't ride and follow, you're going to be a bad guide. So what's interesting is finding people that are safety first, are articulate, can go ahead and travel and experience, and can deal with hospitality issues.
How many bikes are they dealing with at the time? Because they have to be conscious for those bikes.
Generally, a perfect tour is 10 to 15, or under 10 is. But the bottom line is, so in 1995, our first tour we did was go, okay, let's just do LA to Cabo, which was awesome. And if you haven't done that, have you ever been to Baja, guys?
No.
Go. I'm serious. It's November, December, January, February. The whales, the Sea of Cortez. Why is it called the Sea of Cortez? Cortez would take his fleet of, I think he was Spanish, right? Mm-hmm. He'd go out to the Pacific Ocean and then tack back and go up to Sea of Cortez, because that's where all the mothers and the babies would breed. That's where they get their whales. But literally, it's an incredible, incredible journey. Beautiful, easy, inexpensive. So in 95, we did LA to Cabo. And we said, okay, we got to have great guides. We have to have great destinations. And it's not always, some people, it could be 150 miles in a day, because part of the journey is experiencing the destination and the restaurants, the culture, the people. So all that is literally architected. And so when we started our tour business, it really started to boom. And it's, you have the famous Pacific Coast or Route 66. But then we also started doing bike and hotel tours, because what is a motorcycle friendly hotel?
Right.
We all know none of us would want to go anywhere in the U.S. and stay in a 25-story hotel. You find that perfect motel, hotel, B&B on the edge of a Zion Kolb, a canyon. They have a perfect little restaurant, and your bike's parked outside your room. That's a motorcycle friendly hotel. And I would even pay more.
Right.
And so all those things are architected, and it's really pretty hard. So that's what we did. And so from bike and hotel, bike, hotel, and guides. Oh, you know what? My wife's coming. Do you realize on the tours, the number of people that come that have a passenger, their wife, their significant other, their son, their daughter, is over 60%. So
that's
think
awesome.
of that.
That's beautiful.
So of those people, when it's my wife, she'll bring a suitcase full of shoes. And I'm like, honey, what do you do? That's why a support van is so incredible. So having van support, backup,
A trailered bike has a backup. That's right.
You're stopping by Pismo Beach. You're on and you want to try the sand. A couple dirt bikes in there, but all that is architected, and it's. So we literally started in '95, and then we found super awesome people that just developed an entire business. And what matters to a Spaniard coming to America, or an American going to Spain, or pick it, is different. The Germans, Route 66, the Wild West, which is basically the Southwest. They all have different lore and destinations they want to see. So, and having bilingual tour guides. People not only can ride, focus on safety, understand what motorcycle-friendly hotels are. When there's problems, there's always some hotel. Oh, shit. We didn't understand. Got a jungle. That's a really gifted skill set. And then to be bilingual or multilingual, it's awesome. But they're done beautiful.
I just thought about it right now while you were speaking. The first time I rode a Harley Davidson was an Eagle Rider Harley Davidson.
Was it?
Really?
Dude, I would hug you right now, but I can't because of COVID.
I was in San Francisco and I came to the U.S. and my girlfriend at the time, my wife.
You just realized this now?
Yeah, my wife right now flew home, and I take off in San Francisco, and like 3 hours after, I'm in Big Sur, and there's snow around me, and I'm in short sleeve, an electric light, and I'm stopping every single point I can until I see another Eagle Rider where they let me borrow a leather jacket. So it was pretty fun. I had that bike for 3 days, and it was the first time ever that I rode a Harley Davidson. And it was going down PCH and going up from San Francisco to almost San Diego.
Did you drop it off, or you drove?
No, I dropped it off back in San Diego. I mean, in San Francisco. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
I just realized when you were talking about the tours, I was like, when was my first tour? And I was like, wow, it's the first time I rode a Harley Davidson ever. I mean, my father had a Harley Davidson and I moved there around the block, but never like 11 hours and a half by myself riding.
But think about it. I mean, a tour, and by the way, a tour can be a group, it can be individual, but how did you get your hotels?
Well, that was misery. The only brand I knew kind of was Best Western, so I was just Googling.
I love it.
On my phone, the Best Westerns. Where could I stop? I don't know. I had been in this country for 4 months, so I didn't really know anything. So I just Googled Best Western, and wherever they took me, I went there and sleep.
And you were on a straight mission to your destination.
You
didn't stop or see.
Well, yeah, I saw
recommendations.
I saw San Jose. I stopped there and see. Oh yeah, there's like a first wheel here, or whatever. And I went down to Carmel. I stopped there too. Big Sur. I took a couple of pictures of the bridge, which I didn't even know how big it was Big Sur until years after. But I continued all the way to LA when I stopped in the Best Western in Hollywood Boulevard. And I was like, this is craziness. I'm not gonna sleep here. They're gonna steal my bike.
You could have called the Eagle Rider concierge and they would have gone.
I could have, but I first of all, if it's hard to understand me right now,
we didn't know that, and that's the thing. I think it goes back to that where people, what you've done with your business is very amazing, but there's still a lot of people that don't know exactly. And there's another reason I wanted to get you onto the podcast is so everybody sees the benefits of what you guys offer and they maximize their experience with you guys. So what other service do you guys provide that people might not know?
Oh God. So just when you're telling your story about from San Francisco down, so we started something. And again, when you say, and I love that it's flattering when you say what you created or you started. The truth is, our secret to success is finding passionate motorcycle enthusiasts from all walks of life, just like you two. Spain, California, different bikes you rode. And I'm telling you, this team, this family, the Eagle Rider family, is the one who created this magic. So when we started doing this, we're like, we need to create a central res. Well, why? Of course, in case someone has problems or a breakdown or they want to book, take reservations, but also to assist them on the road when they're looking for a motorcycle-friendly hotel. They want to go ahead and do something unique. They want to go ahead and get a special tour of a motorcycle museum or see a bike builder. All those things are done because on a bike, I don't know about you, I'm not a Bluetooth guy connected making phone calls. I'm free.
Yeah, we're 100% connected.
Yeah, we're in the network big time.
You guys are. See, I'm old school.
First bike I rent from you guys, I'm setting up the quad lock. I'm making sure my phone can get attached.
I do the phone for music. Because you got to have like
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah,
You gotta have your jams
but you guys communicate and talk back.
with
and
the
Well,
Cena.
we're usually we're like
you
17,
guys are like married.
we're 17
Yeah.
people. When we ride, we're like from 10 to like 20 people riding. So we have to say on your right. There's a car coming crazy. And we go through places where there's traffic. So
we're riding more. We're typically the weekend warriors on the weekend, obviously, and we ride more aggressive. And when you're riding more aggressive, it's better to plan ahead. Like, hey guys, we're going 60, 70 on PCH. We're gonna stop at the next two rocks.
I think it's pretty useful. We're like passing a car, and then we're like no car, and so until everybody passes, we warn each other if there's.
It's
a car
interesting.
coming.
I'm gonna ride with you guys. I'll connect. I'll be connected.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll like it. You'll definitely like it. Exactly. Especially when you're splitting lanes or crossing up cars, you have somebody telling you, "Hey, it's clear."
So to tell you what we're doing that's cool and new, the main thing, you guys, and it's market demand, is membership. Our membership program is also evolving into subscription. And what is subscription? Low cost ability. It's usership of awesome bikes.
Well, what is the
For a great
membership?
price.
Break it down, and what are the prices? If you do want to discuss
Yeah,
the
yeah,
prices,
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. I mean, it's right. I mean, and by the way, we just basically listened to the marketplace. People said, we want 5 credits in a rental credit, by the way. Probably 70% of our bikes, 1 credit, 1 day. Then there's, if you buy a trike, I think it's 3 credits. I mean, because trikes cost, I don't know, I 35, 40 grand. So there's different credits on different bikes, but most are 1 credit, 1 bike. The big touring bikes are usually 2 credits, one day. So we just listened to what, and it's the whole idea is to be a value proposition where that you can earn your credits, you can bank them, ride one, $29 a month, you earn a rental credit, you bank it.
$29 a month. Yeah, one. And that one is so it's 1 a month, that's 12, but you get a bonus one for your birthday, right?
You got it.
13.
You have like 30 saved or something.
I have 34.
But you guys were talking about, I think someone said the KTM 790, which is a badass bike.
One credit.
Yeah. I mean, that's a cool bike. But the whole point is you choose your, and then we have Ride 2. I think it's $55. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Huh? Then we have Ride 10, $199. But the bottom line is most of us, like you said, you have your weekends available. You're lucky to get outside of COVID. We're lucky to get away 10 days a month. I mean, seriously, we're lucky to get 1 long weekend. So that's a whole idea. And when we found that most of our customers were renting, paying $150 a day or going a multi-$1,000
and
tour.
they were repeating also.
Yeah. And it's amazing when you look at your customer, Mr. X and Mrs. Y, and they've rented from us 20 times. You think, are they always LA? No, they're San Francisco. They're Denver. They go ride the Rockies. They've been to Vancouver because Vancouver's awesome.
Super.
Right up to Whistler. They've been to Chicago. Wow, that's a long trip. Chicago, they did Route 66 and just him and his wife. They went out east. It is so destination minded, and you can't do it on your own bike. Because, I mean, most of us aren't independently wealthy that you can just go ahead and escape for 2 weeks to 2 months. So that's where our membership program is huge. And when you said what's new, everything tied to that. So we listen to you guys. We listen to our members. We're far from perfect, which, by the way, I will tell you something really cool. We have like a net promoter score. It's like customer service. It's like what companies rank themselves on, NPS and CSI. Our NPS in 2020 or 2019 was 83.
That's amazing.
Like it's world class is in the 7. It's unreal.
It's world class.
And by the way, do we have people go out and a tire, something goes wrong and we got to save them in Death Valley? Of course. But it just tells you when you make mistakes, you listen to your customers and you correct them. So one of the interesting things in new products for membership is, guys, you need more off-road products. We want side-by-sides. In, Jackson Hole, we want snowmobiles. So we're starting to offer unique motorcycle. I'd say 95% of what we do is 2 wheels, motorcycle.
Right.
But we're adding power sports. So we're testing these different things because you want the ultimate garage and just pay a membership fee, that's what our job is. So that's what we're doing.
No, that's super awesome because it's most businesses get to a certain point and then they kind of just stop there. You know, even Harley has limited their certain models and they stick to it. They don't want to grow outside of that until now. Now they're doing the Pan America. Now they're doing
the Street Fighter.
The Street Fighter. Now they're doing it. But look how long it took them to get to that point. And you guys have been evolving. I mean,
we're brand agnostic.
Every year.
The first bike I ever rode was a mini bike, and I think I lasted 35 feet. I was in Cub Scouts and went through Mrs. Linenfelser's fence and in her rose bushes and tipped over, and I was hooked. But then I bought a Suzuki PE 185, that yellow badass machine. I broke the frame and tried to weld it. I suck at welding. It was like a circus bike.
Yeah.
That was in my high school. Then in college, I saved up and I bought, remember the red seat Honda Interceptor 500? That was...
I got to look that one up.
But so I've always been brand agnostic, and so is most motorcyclists. I mean, listen, do I love Harley? That's my brand. I'm from Wisconsin. My mailman used to come to our house and deliver mail on a panhead. I was like, man...
What a cool mailman.
I wish I was a mailman.
Yeah, Airmail Al. His name was Al. He was so cool. Dylan, our German Shepherd, just loved him. And I'm like, man, Al, even dogs love Al. And, but I love all, pick your passion. It depends. So so you're absolutely right. We just listen to the marketplace and our members. It's been an awesome
Well, I think the big point on memberships, on your guys' memberships at least, is that you guys pick to leave the price lower than any payment on a motorcycle. So it's cheaper to have your membership and ride a different bike every day that you have a credit than buying your motorcycle and being stuck with maintenance and a payment every month and all that. So I do recommend anybody that...
to get it, 100%.
No, well, anybody who has motorcycle for sure for traveling, but anybody that just did the course get it, just because, for example, we organize rides every weekend, but it's great to be able to join one ride every month just with the membership, lowest membership.
Without committing people to buy a motorcycle. I mean, let's talk about, this is just me because I like numbers so much, but you're talking about you don't have to put a down payment. You don't have to run your credit. You don't have to worry about maintenance. You don't have to worry about changing tires. The amount of money that you're saving by getting a monthly membership is
it's awesome.
It's super awesome. And you have access to the Eagle Rider Garage, and there's always motorcycles available. And I guess,
you know what's interesting about that, though? Because when we started our business, I'll never forget, someone at Harley Davidson, who's no longer there, said, and a great guy, man, if you rent, Chris, why would people buy? Actually, membership's the same thing. People think will it cannibalize rentals? Will it cannibalize sales? It actually does the exact opposite, because we are actually getting, like when you talked about in college, when you're in college, your first time you rented a Harley, could you imagine being able to become a club member, a member of Club Eagle Rider at a university and go ahead and escape and grab some bikes and it'd be economical? That's how you get in the ecosystem of riding. And truly, we all want to buy eventually, not a $60,000, but
right.
The bottom line is we all love to own our motorcycle. And you probably, we all have multiple bikes. It could be a Vespa, but you talk about a try it before you buy it program that's economical without writing a check. We're made for it, and I think you both said it. That's why I bought my first Harley. That's why I did this. That's why
it is. It is really inspirational, because you can be in college here in UCLA, and by the way, I cannot conceive why not every student of UCLA is riding a motorcycle in campus, because it's the best, safest environment to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah,
there's barely any cars, but anyway, they don't have the income to buy a Rogue Lite, but $29 a month they can be riding it, one day every month, or every 2-3 months, a weekend or something like that.
No, it is. I'm kind of like my dream is never been like we have to run a profitable company. You have to build wealth and happiness and make great experiences. But truly, I want an Eagle Rider whether it's a franchise, a license, in a dealership, a standalone, every great destination around the world that all three of us want to ride. Why? Because that's a dream come true. But also I view our new journey with membership and subscription and rentals and tours. We need to inspire, man, a new generation of riders. And I'm telling my son, Jake McIntyre, he's 21 years old. He goes to school in Penn State. Now he's home because, campuses are closed. He rides a bike because, he worked here. He's my son. But honestly, most of his friends, it's different. It's a different time. But you're right. Fuel costs, easy to park. It's a blast. Even if
it's a scooter in campus, it would be great, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really believe that's part of our journey is to get people into the ecosystem of riding because it's magical. It's a gift from God.
Yeah.
Well,
what you
really
you guys have incorporated too is we've come into a time right now where this is a world economy. It's a shared economy. That's what the Airbnbs are. That's what the Ubers are. That's what Uber Eats are. And you guys are tapping into that market as well. And that's what you guys are creating for people. So that's awesome. And just in case if the listeners don't know, even the smaller motorcycles for DMV test, you guys have those still, right?
Man, you did your research, man. No, but honestly, I wish we had more of those. I really do. Because I was
those get booked pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved to California from Wisconsin, I made one mistake. I just said, whatever. And I didn't tell the person when I got my driver's license. They somehow took off my motorcycle license. I'm like, oh, God. So I had to go take a test in California. I had like 2 bikes. It would be nice to do that circle. 100cc bike or a Nighthawk but that's why we did that because we go, what do we even charge? $55, $75, just go practice after hours in the DMV, get comfortable because seriously, everybody like MSF, Total Control, Riding Academy, those are great things. But a lot of people just to go ahead and rent a bike and do it on their own time is important.
Yeah. And I know that there's people that are kind of like, especially like, for example, my wife, when she did it, or friends of her, they're like, I never done it and I don't want to look stupid in front of another 20 people. So I'd rather just practice by myself in the parking lot of Target and than going in front of a whole weekend in front of 20 people I don't know, looking stupid every time. So anyway, I do love the course.
The number of people that rent our dirt bikes, I think we have all these 125s. I'm like, do we have that many kids or younger or smaller people? And they're like, oh no, Chris, people take them because human beings have egos and they'll put it in their back of their pickup truck or what, get a friend. They go to the desert or beyond and they learn how to shift gears. What's bizarre, guys, we grew up, the first car I had, it was manual.
Right. 6 shift.
That doesn't exist anymore. Most vehicles
are
automatic. So they don't even know how to shift. So we have all these 125s that are going out to the desert for people just to learn how to shift gears, ride, do it where they're not going to be embarrassed. They come back and it's interesting. It's a whole.
And then they take the course maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's very interesting.
So that's our goal. You guys are doing a great thing with your podcast, living great life. By the way, why do we ride? The experience. There's awesome people. We are modern day Christopher Columbuses. You like
exactly.
What
right.
Do you like what I'm
saying?
That's right. You love that.
But he was Italian.
Yeah, he was.
But he was sponsored by Spain.
Italian.
He was.
But I was like somewhere in Italy, like is it Genova or something? They're like, oh, this is Christopher Columbus. I'm like, oh bullshit, he's from Spain. Yeah. But seriously, something flows through a motorcyclist vein that yearn, camaraderie, adventure. That magic when you're riding that bike. And my favorite time is when the sun's setting, it's getting low, the wind calms. There's something magical.
Mystical.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's something that people that don't ride don't understand. There is, you can ride your motorcycle to the Angeles Crest, and 10 minutes after you're talking at this distance with Jay Leno. How many people would do that?
Oh, well,
unless you're riding. Yeah, you get out of your bike and you're 2 equal people at the same level, just a rider. There's no titles. There's no other experience in the world that put two people at the same level, no matter what they do.
So I love that you said that, because one of the great. All right, so my office, we're in the Eagle's Nest for the
in Hawthorne.
Is this called the podcast?
Yeah.
So the listeners,
right boundless listeners.
But so we're in our conference room where we do our brainstorming, and my office, and it's purposely over one of the main rental things. And when we were building it, we're like, don't you want to be in the, I go, no, man, I want to see what our customers experience, the good, the bad. And if there is any ugly, we'll fix it. But it's so interesting that you say that, because the people that come through here could be a sheet metal worker, could be a retired guy, could be a father and son. That one of the guys that I think I mentioned to you, Robert, I was standing up there. I'm like, man, that guy's crying. Something. Oh man, he must have got hurt. Maybe a bike crash. I went down. Hey, what's up? Are you okay? And he's like, no, I just had one of the most amazing moments of my life. My son and I haven't spoken to each other for 20 years. Eagle Rider. We figured something that would be diplomatic, and we would talk at the breaks and where we'd fill up gas. He goes, I just rekindled a relationship with my son, and it happened with your company on your rental bikes. And he goes, it's one of the most magical.
That's goosebumps.
That's
goosebumps. That's
so
amazing.
But you're
beautiful.
Right. From socioeconomic, you could have a construction worker. We've had billionaires. We've had Richard Branson. We've had the founder of Ameritrade and the Chicago Cut. I mean, but it is all walks of life that have this adventure spirit, which is innate to human beings.
The other day we stopped in a red light, and we were just chatting with the partner of Keanu Reeves on Arch Motorcycles. And we were just right there with him. Yeah, there's no other situation in the world that could put you close to other people that are in completely different levels, socioeconomical and also in terms of success. Like
those bikes are badass.
They're
super sick. Yeah, there was a crew of them. There was like 6, 7 of them riding through PCH. Beautiful.
I would love to put. By the way, that is one of my dreams as we continue to build the club. Number one, economical selection. Try before you buy. Whatever that's our main goal, and safe, awesome experience. But we do want to expand. Like I was talking to the CEO of Ducati. I'm like, man, I got to get some of these high end, not, but it's going to cost more money. So we have to figure out that membership. But I would love to have Arch and some cool bikes.
Exclusive, nice cruising bikes.
But in our business, it's hard because they're not used, and not everyone will use them. And if they tip over,
but
everything has a risk, and you've gone through this before. Yeah. Do you guys do anything with the movie industry or rentals?
Yeah. We do. You
guys have a department dedicated to that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Transportation vehicles or movie cars, but
that's awesome.
Because where else do you find an entire gang of 80 bikes or something? They're props. Half of them are used as props.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. We kind of love that because they bring their big movie trucks. They pick them up. They don't even ride them. Always.
Yeah.
Except Charlie Borman, Russ Malkin. Those guys are badass too. But we do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys, we should do a podcast on the road live.
Instead of for communication systems that you don't.
No, but I don't know. But I was more thinking we pick a route. It's 3 days, and every stop.
Oh, that would be great.
Check in.
How badass.
Live.
Guys, we just went down, and man, we saw dolphins on the coast, and we went from Neptune's Net, and now we're at XY. That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. We could totally do that.
Because nobody else
and nobody's
would do
done.
that.
I mean, some people have done like video and just posted on YouTube, but actually live, step by step. All right, our next stop's going to be in 2 hours. We're going to take this, that. Make sure to follow us. That would be amazing. That's
so
people in
else
suspense.
would be cool. There's so many interesting people, like you were talking about, all walks of life that have rented from Eagle Rider. We have this incredible group of adventure spirited people, some celebrities, some characters, but man, we could pick and choose a group of people, a musician,
an artist. And
what's your new single, Gilby? And he just starts jamming. It's acoustic, and we're sitting on the beach, and then we pack up and
so
go to the Fernwood.
Should I file for divorce now?
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
We're gonna start doing adventures. My wife is gonna be like,
"Oh, you're gonna bring her, man."
No,
exactly.
we were actually talking about that. We had a conversation with Ben Christensen And
isn't he cool?
He's super cool. We had the
Did
greatest.
you see his dad? We did something with him and his father.
The father, father and son.
Is that moving?
It's incredible.
It's amazing. And what the problem was is we had such a great conversation with him, but he's a cowboy.
Yeah, he is.
And he was on his phone, on speakerphone, driving a truck, and by the time we were done and we re-listened to the podcast, the quality was really, really bad. So then Jaime was saying, why don't we why don't next time we do an interview with somebody out of state, why don't we just ride to that state?
We show up there.
Why don't we just show up, so we'll never have this issue again, trying to solve the problem. And while we have that appointment, we'll book other people in that area.
That's a great idea.
And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. I love that idea. And now you're talking about doing a trip and tracking the trip. You tell us when. We'll show up. We'll bring the equipment.
Guys, you have a gift, and I'm serious. We're all, whether you're an OEM, a dealer, an enthusiast, a builder, whatever, tech, it's our job. This is the generation we have to go ahead and grow ridership. It's a truth.
Yeah.
And whether I look at it as, okay, I got to monetize it. It could be rentals, it could be tours, it could be membership, a dealer, it could be parts, accessories, sales. Blah. But the bottom line is you guys are storytellers. Ben Christensen, why do we go, hey, Ben, anytime you want a bike, there's a whole list of people. We'll give it to you. Just tell your story. They're gifted.
Yeah.
And you guys, throughout time, whatever our heritage is, storytelling is a gift of human. It's part of who
the
we are.
one he just did of riding solo is also beautiful.
Yeah, actually, I'm honestly my gift, a motorcycle's gift to me, I should say. I love 1 to 2 people, 3 people max. That's kind of my gig. I'm big groups are awesome, but since you guys are 3, I'm in.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely do that. And to add to your point, what Matt Laidlaw was telling us is because he's launching his podcast, or already launched this podcast, he was telling us what he likes about Ride Boundless podcast and what we're doing is that we're doing this as enthusiasts. We want to know all the businesses. We want to know who's part of this. We're doing it because we're fans. Where his podcast, even though he'll launch it and it's going to be a great podcast, because he's a dealership, it looks like he's trying to sell something or move something, or people will look at it like, he owns a Harley dealer. That's why he's saying that.
Yeah, the only agenda we have behind this is more people riding, and
more people riding, and hear the entrepreneur sides, and get to sit down. I mean, you and I haven't done this in a long time, and just really kick it and just talk about what's going on and the growth.
You guys, we're blessed. We honestly, it's like a gift from God. Somehow we were inspired. We decided to ride. Think of all the interesting people you've met because of motorcycling and riding and experiences, and not even on a bike where you're somewhere, but you're in this scene that magic happens. I mean, we need adventure.
It is an instant connection. Once you meet somebody and suddenly you realize that he rides and he realized that you ride, they're like, oh, we're part of the same something that somehow connects us. It's really weird. I don't know why do we have that connection? Because I don't think that car drivers think, oh, you drive. Oh,
some of them do.
Depending on the club.
Because we're riders, guys, and all our senses are activated when we're riding. The smell, the feel. I feel the sun.
Absolutely.
In a car, you're almost like in a fishbowl.
You're numb.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I love cars. I
love cars, trucks, cars.
Yeah, but a motorcycling's living. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I was just telling my wife the other day, the moment I jump on a motorcycle, it doesn't matter how tired, how lazy, it doesn't matter what's going on. My senses, my eyes open up, my ears. I'm looking around. I'm paying attention to people's mirrors. I'm paying people rear view mirrors, turn signals. Their tires, are they turning? Where it is in the lane. Your senses just hike up. Insane. And that's a good feeling. You feel awake. You feel alive.
Yeah, it is true.
Versus a car, you can have 2 cell phones, text, do whatever. Don't do that. But the stuff we get away with in a car.
So having access to all the motorcycles you have access, do you own anything?
Yeah. But honestly, that is a great point though. So in my garage right now, there used to be a Road Glide, but that Road Glide is now dropped off at Eagle Rider Las Vegas because I bought a Ford Raptor and I had to get home. But right now in my garage, I have a KTM 450 SXF. That's a badass bike. I can't even ride it. It's too powerful. But no, I can't ride. But
Yeah.
but in a 250, I just a Yamaha. Right now, I'm into. That's my thing. I'm into
Low CCs,
off and
light
dirt.
motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean, but we live a gift of God. I mean,
Are they both
we
street
have-
legal or none of them is street legal?
none straight right now.
Okay.
But there will be. But to your point, I own more cars than almost bikes right now because there's 4,000 bikes to choose from in a stable. And just so you know, I truly do live what our membership and rental and our entire experience of running dreams. Our bikes are so perfectly maintained. I used to the bike down there, actually the first bike we own, Eagle One, is on display downstairs. It's not even in my house because to me, it means something special of how we started this business. And if I ride that bike, which I do, I take it to lunch and stuff. But honestly, if I'm going with my wife somewhere, I always get a brand new bike that's perfectly maintained because it's safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
seriously.
the best feeling in the world.
So now let's say that you are not Chris McIntyre and that you don't have any
I knew
relationship.
you were going to do this.
You don't have any relationship with Eagle Rider, and you're about to buy one motorcycle, but you do have all the knowledge of every bike out there.
You
Which
do have
one
the
would you buy?
experience.
Only one.
All right. I'm into. All right. It's going to be adventure touring. It's not going to be a BMW because I'm not really into the boxer engine. It's going to be probably the KTM,
1290.
maybe the 7. I don't know. Yeah, I love the 790, but it's probably the 1290. Because by the way, you know what my next trip is?
No.
This is badass.
Let's hear.
In July.
And if you say it's badass, it's badass.
It's interesting. So that's what I'd buy. But I don't know what bike I'm going to do it on. Anchorage to Seattle. I'm stopping by Denali because in 2021, I'm going to summit the tallest mountain in North America, Denali.
That's
It's a
badass.
21 days. So that's so I have to be.
Have you done that before? Have you done any
Yeah. I
climbing?
did. In July of 2019, we climbed Mount Elbrus, which is the tallest mountain in all of Europe and Russia.
That's
And
awesome.
It was awesome. But it was weird because literally the guy I went with is a mountain climber. I mean, he's a mountaineer, and his name's Eric Severson. He's awesome. He's a warrior. But when we're doing this in July, it was 60 mile an hour winds, 30 below wind chill, not even wind chill, 30 below. I was like, what the hell? You're 4 to 5 days on a glacier, and there's crevices. There's no oxygen. So we're about 200 meters from the top of Elbrus. We started at 11. It's about 8 in the morning. And this is to go, 2,000, not even 2,000 feet, like 1,000. It's crazy when you're trying to summit. And a lightning snowstorm hits.
A
And
lightning snowstorm.
we
Imagine
literally
that.
have to go back down.
Yeah.
And thank God we got another window and we finally did it. Like 2 days later, we submitted. But anyhow, so the story, motorcycling, Anchorage, Seattle. My wife, June, who's awesome. She's just incredible. Flies up to Seattle. And then June and I are going to go from Seattle up through Canada, down through Montana, a little bit of Wyoming.
I wanna ride in Montana.
And Sturgis.
And
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
That's awesome. This is this July?
Yeah.
This is,
July to August, baby.
Oh,
That's a
man.
life and times of McIntyre. So people go, man, I mean, seriously, I'm a dreamer.
Yeah.
This business is all, you guys, we live a life that most people dream of. And so we ride, right? And whether it's 3 days or 3 weeks, do it. And there's no one stopping us from living this dream or seeing incredibly interesting places. You can buy a bike, buy a used bike, you can join Club Eagle Rider. You really can experience awesomeness on 2 wheels.
No, Chris, thank you. Thank you for creating this for the people, for the people, by the people that ride. Thank you for creating the membership program. Can you shoot out the websites and the Instagrams and everything else? Where can we find everything?
EagleRider.com.
EagleRider.com.
Yeah, it's easier. And
Reservation, memberships, all can be done on EagleRider.com.
Yep.
They can call in. There's
all the connection to the social sites. And if you, by the way, if you send, we have incredible enthusiasts. If you send something like, you know, I have a question or social or just, yeah, I'm telling you, they get back to you and and by the way, whoever gets back to you, rides.
Yeah.
So they actually,
everybody.
You can't talk the talk, walk the walk, or ride the ride if you don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
That's awesome. That's true. Well, Chris,
All right, guys.
thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Again, eagleriders.com, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I guess the next time we'll be on is a 3-day trip, 4-day trip.
Never forget, land of the, what is it? Land of the free, home of the brave, land of the free. Spread your wings and fly. Believe and achieve, brothers.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
And that's it for this episode. Thank you so very much for listening. If you liked it, please make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, on everywhere. Wherever you're listening to this, there's a subscribe button. Please click on it. It helps the podcast. It helps the guest. It helps all of us. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Ride Boundless to see amazing pictures and contents and videos of the people we are speaking to. Until then, see you next week. Ride safe, ride hard, ride boundless.